Hello and welcome to part 6 of the Power Platform Security series. And today I would like to show you something around Privileged Identity Management, so PIM. If you have never heard about this term, have a look at this Learn site here. If you want to get a short introduction, so what does Privileged Identity Management do? Well, it allows you, for example, to give just-in-time access to some environments, to some data. Of course, it is time-bound. You can put approval, you can put justification, notifications, and all of that, and you can also audit what was going on. But the main point is, for a certain period of time, a specific user gets access to something. And of course, this plays nicely together with our zero trust principles and to give people only the access they need. Use the least privileged access. And how this works, well, that's something we are going to investigate now. Okay, so I'm here on SharePoint. Why? Well, because I want to have this list basically included in a Power App. So to do that, I already prepared my Power App, my Canvas app. You see here, this is the SharePoint list. You see here, I'm logged in with my admin user. And of course, I can record, manipulate, and do everything with the records that I want. Okay? So now imagine that I want to have somebody external who is not in my tenant, a guest user, to update, create, delete those records. Then this guest user, of course, needs access to this Power App. So let me try to show you what I did. So I basically shared this Power App with Ludwig. And Ludwig Reinhardt is a guest user that is living in the Microsoft tenant. Of course, I said he's a co-owner, because maybe he wants to change something, needs to fix something. And I also said he needs these permissions. So quick info here. So you see here's Ludwig and he is a guest user. Well, of course you might know, if Ludwig is not a member of this SharePoint here, then he cannot access the data. So let's quickly prove that. So let me move to my Microsoft tenant. I have this app open. Already tested this before. If I refresh the data, I should see an error message saying, hey, you do not have access to the data. Okay, that's of course because I don't have access to SharePoint. Now, how can I enable this access, let's say for 1 hour or for half an hour or just some minutes? And to realize that, well, we go into Entra. Okay, so we are here. This is Entra, the admin center. I'm here in this identity governance. And then you can see here is the privileged identity management. Okay, so what I have done here is I have a group, and the group is for this SharePoint site. And if you go in, you can see, okay, here are my roles. There are different things. And after a second, hopefully I can see the other things updating. So my role should be, I should have access to all of these things. But what I'm interested in is, of course, what are the other people allowed to do? So I'm member and I'm the owner. But if I'm clicking on the assignments, I can see all of the people who have access to this. And these are all people from my tenant. So now what we can do, we can come here. We say, okay, we need a membership for this specific tenant, for this SharePoint site, so to say. And of course, my system is a bit slow today, so stay with me here because this will be quite interesting how you can manage this access. And after a second or so, we should see here the available roles that we have. And while this is loading, let me try to select already the members. So these members, they should open the users that I have. So I have here Ludwig. This is my Microsoft account here. So I edit, and the role that I want is I want to have this as a member. Okay, then next, and here you see what this privileged identity management is doing. You can say, hey, I directly want to have this person active. Then it directly applies to these settings here. Or you can say eligible. If you say eligible, then Ludwig will get a notification, has to go into Entra, and then say, okay, make this active. Or you can just come here and say, hey, let's give him access, maybe just for this day. So we go here to this day, 1 hour, Ludwig needs access. And we directly make it active. So I'm not going through this assignment process. So let's go here. Now Ludwig will be added. You see here on top, it takes a while. And after a couple of seconds, we should see him here under the active assignments. Might take a couple of seconds, maybe a minute or two, but then he should be here. And the other thing that we should see on the SharePoint side, Ludwig should also have access. So you see here, assigned role to member. And if we go to SharePoint, let me open that. And if we refresh that, then we should hopefully see that Ludwig is now also here a member. You see him. So this is just added. So he's here for an hour. And now if we go back to our Power App, so if we move to the Microsoft tenant, so that's the same app. We might have to refresh it a couple of times. It takes a couple of minutes until this access is going through. So let me try to refresh it. If we do not directly see the data, I will pause the video and come back after a couple of minutes. So let's wait here a bit and then see. Okay, it took really a couple of minutes until the data become available and visible, but you see after I refresh this site here, now I have access to the data. I can change records here. So let's say I make it here to 999. I can update a record here, the Lego record. And if I go back into my SharePoint list, so let me try that. I should see the changes. So if we refresh that, we should see then 999. So this is a way how you can allow guest users to access your system for a limited period of time. Of course, I mean, there are other options. And if you click on that, you have here in the Power Platform Admin Center the guest user access. So you can enable it or disable it for certain environments. But what you cannot do is you cannot make it time specific. And the other thing is, it is something that is turned off and turned on for all guest users. So it's not very specific. Of course, it's a good way to allow guest users inside your system, but if you need a bit more fine tuning, then of course this might be a good way using this PIM solution. Before we close, here's some other remarks. So after a while, you will get a notification that your access basically expired. So now I'm again in the Microsoft tenant. I'm logged in here with my Microsoft account into this Azure. How did I get there? Well, I got an email. Let me show you that email in a second. It's this one here. And it says, okay, view activate the role. I already said the assignment type is active. So you remember there was one option eligible. And if you click on that link, you are here and you see your active assignments. And here's the end time. After this ends, it will be listed in the expired assignments, but you can apply to extend it. If you click this, then the administrator will get a notification, hey, Ludwig needs more time to do his activities. And then the administrator can extend it, grant this right, or deny it. So this is really a nice way how to work here with this privileged identity management. Last comment is here, these access reviews. So what are these access reviews? let's have a quick look. Yeah, so what can you do here? Well, you want to review here, for example, teams. Yeah? I say I want to have a specific team or group that I want to review, and in my case it's this SharePoint site. Yeah, so I select. Then the question is, what do you want to review? Do you want to review the access for all users or only guest users? Yeah, I say only guest users. I say, okay, hey, do you need a multi-step review? Yeah, who is the reviewer? Yeah, how long do they have time? Yeah, so let's just try to fill something here that we can move to the next slide. Yeah, and maybe I use a specific user here, and then in the settings you can see what happens. Yeah, so if the reviewer does not respond, yeah, remove him the access. Yeah, that's something you can do automatically. Yeah, or here you see all of the parameters that help you getting notifications if users have access and not. And maybe this access review helps you, if you do it regularly, to identify people that you just forgot and that you have to remove the access. Yeah? Okay, so that's it. What I want to share with you about privileged identity management, access reviews, and everything that you can find here in identity governance. That's really cool stuff that you can use also for your Power Platform. Let's go back to the PowerPoint to close this blog post. Okay, so after this demo, here's some short notes that you can take home. First, this privileged identity management is an additional option to access or to control the access to your apps, to your data. So basically, I did not remove the access to the app, but to the data, so the user could not do anything. Optional is, of course, the use of workflows with this identity management and what you can do with it. It considerably reduces the risk, yeah, if you have made role assignments that you might have forgotten. Yeah, especially with these assessments, you can quickly check who is still there, yeah, and who should not have access. Yeah? And of course, do these regular access reviews to make sure nothing is overlooked. Yeah, so this is a really good extension of to what we have in the Power Platform Admin Center. Okay, that's it for today. As usual, if you have comments, ping me or send me a message. Thanks again for watching and listening, and then till next time.